The Dominion warship materialized above Earth's atmosphere like a wound in spacetime, its crystalline hull refracting sunlight across the planet's surface. Admiral Victoria Nash stood at the viewport of the Orbital Defense Station Artemis, her dark eyes fixed on the alien vessel that dwarfed anything humanity had ever built. At 58, she had spent 3 decades preparing Earth's space forces for this moment, though nothing could have truly prepared them for the reality of first contact. Energy readings are off the charts. Admiral Lieutenant Kai Paddle reported from his station. Their power output could run all of Earth's cities for a century. Victoria's fingers traced the worn silver medallion at her neck, a reminder of the oath she'd taken to protect Earth. Keep our defense grid powered down but ready. Let's not show our hand just yet. The Dominion's first transmission came as a cascade of light that transformed into a holographic figure in the station's command center. The alien appeared almost human, save for the iridescent patterns flowing across its skin. "We are the Dominion of 10,000 suns," it announced in perfect English. "We bring gifts of technology and knowledge to welcome Earth into our eternal empire." Dr. Rajan Patel, Earth's leading Shinorchaeologist, stepped forward to study the projection. His research into ancient alien artifacts had led him to a disturbing conclusion about advanced civilizations, but he'd hoped he was wrong. "Tell me," he addressed the hologram, "how many worlds have joined your empire?" The alien's smile never wavered. "Countless civilizations have embraced our guidance. Each prospers under Dominion protection." Victoria caught Rajan's subtle head shake. They had prepared for this possibility, hoped against it, but prepared nonetheless. Over the past decade, Earth had discovered ruins on Mars and Venus, evidence of civilizations that had vanished mysteriously. Rajan's team had decoded enough to suggest they had been protected by a vast empire. The next week brought a flurry of diplomatic exchanges. The Dominion's ambassador, who called himself High Speaker Vor, arrived in a shuttle that seemed to bend light around itself. He met with Earth's Unified Council in Geneva, making promises of technological advancement and galactic trade. But beneath the surface, Earth's military and scientific communities worked frantically. Rajan's team discovered more truth in the Martian ruins, records of systematic resource extraction, cultural erasure, and eventual abandonment. The civilizations hadn't vanished. They had been consumed. Victoria coordinated with military commands worldwide, carefully moving forces into position while maintaining the illusion of a technically inferior species. Earth's true defensive capabilities, quantum shields, gravitational weapons, and ships that could match the Dominion's, remained hidden in underground bases and asteroid facilities. The deception ended when one of Rajan's junior researchers, Dr. Himari Watanabe, decoded a transmission between Dominion ships. "Admiral," she called, her voice shaking. "They're discussing harvest protocols. Earth isn't being invited to join them. We're being prepared for processing." Victoria had waited for this confirmation. Within minutes, she was addressing the Unified Council via secure quantum link. "The Dominion isn't here for alliance," she announced, displaying Himari's translations. "They're an empire of locusts, moving from system to system, stripping each bear before moving on. We have confirmation from the Martian ruins and their own communications." Council President Aditola raised her hand for silence as the chamber erupted. "Admiral Nash, Dr. Patel, you've been preparing for this. What are our options?" Victoria shared a look with Rajan before responding. "We fight, but we do it smart. The Dominion thinks we're primitive, capable only of basic spaceflight and nuclear weapons. That's our advantage. We've been building our forces in secret for years," Rajan added. "The ruins taught us more than just history. They taught us technology. We've improved upon it, created defenses they won't expect." The Council's vote was unanimous. When High Speaker Vor arrived for the next diplomatic session, he found Victoria waiting instead of the usual diplomatic team. She stood tall in her formal uniform, the silver medallion gleaming at her throat. "Earth has considered your generous offer," she announced, noting how the aliens' iridescent patterns shifted to darker hues. "We decline. Furthermore, we are declaring the entire Sol system off-limits to the Dominion. This is not a negotiation." Vor's human-like facade cracked slightly, patterns turning storm gray. "You don't understand your position. The Dominion cannot be denied. We have conquered systems for millennia." Victoria smiled, and for the first time, she let him see the steel behind it. "No, High Speaker, you don't understand yours. Earth isn't like the other worlds you've harvested. We've been preparing for threats like you since our first stories of conflict were written. Every war, every battle in our history has taught us something. And we're very good students." As if on cue, Earth's hidden defenses began to power up. Quantum shields shimmered into visibility around major cities. Defense platforms emerged from camouflaged positions on the Moon and Mars. Doors opened in dozens of asteroids, revealing ships that matched the Dominion's in size and capability. "This is your only warning," Victoria declared. "Leave the Sol system. Don't return. The next time we see a Dominion ship, we will consider it an act of war." As Vor's shuttle departed Earth's atmosphere, Victoria returned to the Artemis station. She watched the Dominion fleet retreat through their space-time ruptures, knowing this was only the beginning. But humanity had something the Dominion didn't understand: the determination to remain free, forged through thousands of years of fighting against impossible odds. "Send word to all commands," she ordered. "Operation Thunderbreak is now active. The Dominion will return, and when they do, we'll show them why Earth was never meant to be their harvest ground." Commander Isabella Torres stood in the heart of Fortress Luna, a massive military complex hidden beneath the Moon's Tycho crater. Holographic displays surrounded her, showing the deployment of Earth's hidden fleet across the solar system. Each ship represented years of secret preparation, each weapon a fusion of recovered alien technology and human innovation. "Defense grid is at 98% capacity," reported Lieutenant Raj Sharma from his station. "The quantum barrier network is fully operational around all major population centers." Isabella nodded, her attention fixed on the long-range scanners. The Dominion fleet had retreated beyond Pluto's orbit, but they hadn't left the system entirely. They were watching, probing, looking for weaknesses they wouldn't find. "Status report from Project Prometheus," she asked, referring to Earth's most ambitious defensive system. "Director Tanaka reports the final stabilization tests are complete," Raj answered. "All 37 gravity manipulation arrays are online and synchronized. If the Dominion attempts to use their space-time ruptures within the inner solar system, they're in for a nasty surprise." The past week had transformed the solar system. Hidden facilities on Mars, Venus, and dozens of asteroids had revealed themselves, each housing a piece of humanity's defensive puzzle. The Dominion had expected to find a primitive civilization barely capable of reaching its own moon. Instead, they had discovered a fortress system, armed with weapons and defenses that matched or exceeded their own. A quantum communication chime interrupted Isabella's thoughts. Admiral Nash's hologram appeared in the command center. "Commander Torres, the Unified Council has received another transmission from the Dominion. They're requesting a diplomatic solution to our misunderstanding." "They're stalling," Isabella replied. "Our deep space arrays have detected at least 3 more Dominion battle groups approaching the system. They're gathering their forces." "Agreed. How long until Project Prometheus is combat-ready?" Isabella gestured, bringing up a detailed technical display. "The system works, but we've never tested it at full scale. If the Dominion tries to open their space-time ruptures inside our gravity web, the disruption should tear their ships apart. But if our calculations are off by even a fraction, we'll be defenseless against their primary advantage." Victoria finished. "Keep working on it. In the meantime, we need to show them we're not sitting idle." The plan they had developed was audacious. While the Dominion gathered their forces, Earth would demonstrate just how prepared they were. Operation Thunderbreak wasn't just about defense, it was about sending a message. Isabella spent the next 3 days coordinating with military commands worldwide. The quantum barrier network expanded, now encompassing not just cities but vital resource centers and manufacturing facilities. Orbital defense platforms adjusted their positions constantly, presenting an ever-changing target array that would confound enemy targeting systems. But the real work happened deep beneath the lunar surface. Dr. Rajan Patel had joined Isabella's team, bringing crucial insights from his study of ancient alien ruins. The Dominion's technology hasn't fundamentally changed in over 10,000 years, he explained, pointing to comparative analyses. They've refined it, certainly, but they've stopped innovating. They don't expect their lesser targets to surpass them. That's their weakness, Isabella realized. They're not just overconfident, they're stagnant. Earth's weapons reflected this advantage. While the Dominion relied on brute force and overwhelming numbers, humanity had developed systems that thought, adapted, and evolved during combat. Quantum-linked defense networks could respond to attacks faster than any biological operator. Gravity manipulation could turn space itself into a weapon. The demonstration came 3 days later. A Dominion scout ship attempted to penetrate the outer defense perimeter, probably assuming Earth's showing of force was largely illusory. The response was immediate and devastating. Gravity wells appeared around the intruder, twisting space into an impassable maze. When the ship tried to escape through a space-time rupture, Project Prometheus activated. The rupture collapsed catastrophically, sending out a pulse of energy that could be detected as far as Saturn. Message sent, Isabella announced as the scout ship retreated, visibly damaged. They'll think twice before testing our defenses again. But victory had come at a cost. The energy drain from Project Prometheus had exceeded their calculations. Emergency backup systems had prevented a complete shutdown, but the vulnerability was clear. We need more power, Isabella told her engineering team. When the main Dominion fleet arrives, they won't send one ship. They'll come with hundreds, maybe thousands. We need to be able to maintain the gravity web indefinitely. The solution came from an unexpected source. Dr. Himari Watanabe, who had first decoded the Dominion's true intentions, proposed integrating their quantum power grid with natural gravitational fields generated by the solar system's planets. The planets themselves can amplify our power output, she explained. We won't just be defending Earth. We'll be using the entire solar system as our fortress. As Isabella studied the calculations, a new message arrived from the Dominion. Their primary battle fleet would arrive within 2 weeks. The transmission contained what they probably considered a generous final offer. Surrender now, and Earth's population would be allowed to serve as privileged labor, rather than simple resources to be harvested. Isabella's response was brief. Come and try. She turned to her command staff, seeing the same determination in their eyes that she felt. 2 weeks to prepare for the largest space battle in human history. Let's make them count. Humanity didn't hide in the shadows and build all this just to surrender. When the Dominion arrives, we'll show them exactly what happens when you threaten a species that spent its entire history preparing for fights exactly like this one. The next phase would determine not just Earth's fate, but perhaps the future of every world the Dominion had enslaved. Operation Thunderbreak was about to enter its final decisive phase. Counterstrike. Captain Marcus Okonjo stood at the helm of the EDS Defiant, Earth's most advanced battleship, hidden in the rings of Saturn. His crew worked in focused silence as they tracked the approaching Dominion armada. The enemy fleet emerged from space-time ruptures beyond Neptune's orbit, over 3,000 ships strong. They're arranging into attack formations, reported Lieutenant Zora Hassan, detecting energy buildups consistent with their primary weapon systems. Marcus had studied every scrap of data on Dominion tactics. They relied on overwhelming force and standard attack patterns, perfected over millennia of conquering less advanced civilizations. But humanity had prepared something different. Initiate Operation Shadow Strike, he commanded. All ships, execute quantum jump on my mark. Earth's hidden fleet had been scattered throughout the solar system, using the natural gravitational signatures of planets and asteroids to mask their presence. Now they would demonstrate the full power of human ingenuity. The battle began with a devastating surprise. As the Dominion fleet approached Mars, hundreds of Earth ships appeared simultaneously within their formation, using short-range quantum jumps that the enemy's sensors couldn't predict. The space around the red planet erupted in chaos as humanity's weapons found their marks. But the Dominion's response was fierce. Their ships, though surprised, were powerful and numerous. The battle spread across the solar system as both sides deployed their full arsenals. Earth's gravity manipulation technology prevented the Dominion from using their space-time ruptures effectively, forcing them into conventional combat where humanity's tactical innovations could shine. The decisive moment. The war for Earth reached its climax in the asteroid belt. Director Yuki Tanaka, working from a hidden facility on Ceres, had discovered a critical weakness in Dominion technology. Their ship's quantum matrices, used for faster-than-light travel, were vulnerable to specific gravitational frequencies. All fleet commanders, this is Admiral Nash. Victoria's voice rang across the quantum network. Execute Protocol Omega. Director Tanaka's calculations are uploaded to your targeting systems. The Dominion fleet, still nearly 2,000 ships strong, pressed their attack. They had never faced such resistance, never encountered a species that could match their power. Their frustration showed in increasingly aggressive tactics. That's when humanity revealed its final surprise. Project Prometheus, combined with Yuki's discovery, transformed the asteroid belt into a massive gravitational web. As the Dominion ships attempted to maneuver, they found themselves trapped in overlapping gravity fields that resonated with their quantum matrices. Ships began to fail, their mighty engines unable to compensate for the specialized attack. The proud Dominion fleet, terror of 1,000 worlds, found itself outmaneuvered and outthought by the very primitives they had come to conquer. A new dawn. The final battle lasted 3 days. When it ended, the remnants of the Dominion fleet retreated in disarray, leaving behind the wreckage of over 2,000 ships. Humanity had proven itself not just unconquerable, but capable of defeating the greatest power in known space. Admiral Victoria Nash stood once again in the orbital defense station Artemis, but this time she watched Earth's ships returning home in triumph. The victory had cost them. Hundreds of brave crew members had given their lives to protect their world, but humanity had secured not just its freedom, but its place among the stars. Message incoming from the Dominion High Command, Lieutenant Sharma announced. The transmission was brief. The Dominion officially recognized Earth's sovereignty and declared the Sol system restricted territory. More significantly, they agreed to begin negotiations for the liberation of other conquered worlds. "They're running scared," Commander Torres observed. "We didn't just defeat their fleet, we shattered their myth of invincibility and showed every enslaved world that resistance is possible," Marcus added from his position on the Defiant. Victoria touched the silver medallion at her neck, thinking of all the sacrifices that had led to this moment. "Send a message to all commands," she ordered. "Operation Thunderbreak is complete, but our work is just beginning." In the decades that followed, Earth became a beacon of hope for oppressed civilizations throughout the galaxy. The technology and tactics developed to defend one world became tools for liberating many. The Dominion's empire began to crumble as more species found the courage to fight for their freedom. Humanity had proven something extraordinary, that determination, innovation, and the unquenchable desire for freedom could overcome even the most overwhelming odds. The stars themselves had witnessed their victory, and the galaxy would never be the same. As new ships launched from Earth's shipyards, carrying volunteers to help other worlds fight for their liberation, Victoria reflected on how far they had come. From a seemingly primitive world marked for harvest, they had emerged as champions of freedom throughout the galaxy. The final entry in her command log read, "Let history record that when humanity faced its greatest challenge, we did not merely survive, we triumphed." And in doing so, we lit a flame of hope that will burn across the stars for generations to come. End.